Welcome back to Shadowhawk Cryptids and Strange Encounters. Today I want to talk about the Wendigo. Every culture on the planet identifies with unique traditions, mythologies, spiritual, religious practices. In Scotland, for example, the Highland people have the legend of the Banshee, which, from my understanding, is a vengeful female spirit who takes out her hostilities and frustrations on humanity. The indigenous tribes of Australia share the tales of the Warrigal. In the Americas, the original northern native inhabitants, the Algonquins, tell their story of the legendary Wendigo. The Algonquin legend describes the nightmarish creature as having pale, ashy skin stretched tight, like a latex suit over the jutting spurs of protruding bones. Its glassy eyes, vacant as they are brooding with evil, reflect the moon from sunken black sockets. A visceral smell oozes from its flesh, rich with rot and fresh metallic blood, as the beast stalks its prey from a looming height of 15 feet in the inky darkness of the forest. This unsettling image damns the souls of those who claim to have faced the creature in the flesh. So what is a Wendigo? I don't know for myself, but the ancients and the Native American elders say the monster exists as the byproduct of cannibalism or dark black magic. In some myth variations, people can also become a Wendigo after merely coming into contact with it. Alternatively, the creature could possess them in a dream. After it takes control of its host, the beast assumes the identity of that person. Now, various different groups assign different names to the creature, but share depictions of a horrific primordial beast that knows only cruelty. It is also known as flesh gates and skinwalkers. Excuse me. In more contemporary tales, they're aliens, often seen in connection with UFOs and other aviation-based anomalies. The sickening, acrid odor that accompanies the beast is a common thread that runs through all Algonquin tribes. Variations exist in the accounts of height, capacity to emulate people, and potential motives. Now, there's a thing called Wendigo psychosis. The native Algonquin tribe of Cree and other groups living in the northern Ojibwe area described as a psychological or mental condition that results from the Wendigo. In the 1960s, the disorder was a source of much clinical intrigue that sparked several psychological studies to take place. To the indigenous people, it was predominantly a spiritual sickness arising from dark forces in the forest. Alternatively, a person's soul can infect someone who cannibalizes that person. In essence, it was an ailment of the mind that manifested in intense waves of acute cannibalistic behavior, almost like a zombie. The longer the condition remains, the more control the beast exerts over its victim. Over time, the person will change from a human being to that of an unrecognizable and horrific beast. It will then reside in the forest, preying on those therein with an unquenchable hunger for human flesh. One of the studies in the 60s pragmatically determined that the condition is due to other factors such as famine and chronic loneliness. Doctors sought to treat it with modern medicine in place of the traditional methods with indigenous people. Now, looking at some historical accounts, in addition to more recent reports, early explorers in America recorded accounts of the creature, and Jesuit missionaries documented various encounters and transformations from the 17th century. In 1907, Algernon Blackwood, an indigenous Algonquin, wrote a short story that recorded an incident with the creature at the time he was with the hunting party in the Canadian backwoods. Around the same time, another indigenous man from the Cree tribe of northwestern Ontario named Jack Fiddler recounted his experience with the beast to a missionary. He claimed to have been a hunter with a specialty in killing Wendigos. He asserted to have killed 14 during his life. Fiddler was a self-proclaimed shaman with superhuman abilities, helping him to defeat these ethereal horrors. However, in a morbid turn, authorities arrested Fiddler and his brother for killing a woman. The two claimed she was a Wendigo in the process of transforming. Jack, the shaman, escaped but committed suicide soon after. His brother, although acquitted, died of an illness in prison just days before his release. These accounts, stemming from Algonquin people, held great weight. Missionaries, too, had significant standing in their society and came across as credible sources of information. Is there any proof for this? Like many urban legends of monsters and cryptids, there is a profound lack of concrete proof of its existence beyond secondhand accounts and witness testimonies. Some of the most compelling scenarios regarding its existence take place at the Skinwalker Ranch. Above all, this is the site of acute and intense paranormal activity beyond its namesake. UFOs and all sorts of other unnatural oddities purportedly make regular appearances. The National Geographic Channel airs a documentary reality show that captures the ongoings there at the Skinwalker Ranch. Of course, I've talked about that once before. And there's also other anomalies like equipment being broke down, seeing strange aircraft and creatures out there at Skinwalker Ranch. And cattle mutilations and disappearances have also occurred on that property. Since 1996, Terry Sherman and his wife have lived on that property and have countless tales of their experiences with the farm's paranormal patrons. Their theory regarding the Wendigo lends itself more to potentially extraterrestrial or demonic origins. However, it is not uncommon to see these contemporary themes blended with more traditional theories explaining what they are, where they come from, or their true motives. Talking about contemporary cryptozoology, the legend has been a horror trope for some time. The film adaptation of Stephen King's book Pet Sematary featured the gruesome beast most recently. However, the monster has been immortalized in a variety of other multimedia formats too. A few years ago, a critically acclaimed game emerged that adopted the legend as a core plot point and a game mechanic. This game was called Until Dawn. and it reinvigorated interest in the ancient legend. Although Skinwalker's lore evolved slightly to better suit the narrative, it remained mostly loyal to its Algonquin origins. Now, there's a lot of internet forums, especially prominent outdoor groups like 4chan's K. The Wendigo or Skinwalker legend is a staple. In some parts of America and even other countries where it reportedly resides, daring explorers to organize trips to hunt the beasts. There have been some competitors, or competitions rather, on the platforms to produce any evidence of the creatures beyond hearsay. However, nothing compiled or compelling ever turns up. Meanwhile, some users have shared maps documenting where they located and encountered the cryptids. Physical proof of the creature remains elusive. Skinwalker skulls, Wendigo wounds, and fleshgate feet may not exist at all. There is only witness testimony and circumstantial evidence. Beyond compelling and figment of entertainment inspired by the old legend, the cryptid has left no proof that it is anything more than a myth. Nevertheless, the Algonquin monster is a creation so terrifying that it has evolved through time and persists as an intriguing staple for modern-day adventurists, hikers, and hunters. Well, that's a pretty interesting report there. Now, I can't tell you of any here in Oklahoma, central Oklahoma, or any part of the state where there's any Wendigo encounters. If any of you guys know of any, feel free to let me know at shadowhawkcryptids@gmail.com or shadowhawk44@yahoo.com. I'd definitely love to hear from you. Basically, the creature seems to be up north mainly. It has been spotted like around Washington State, Illinois, Minnesota, definitely Canada, and along Nebraska, up around the northern Montana, Minnesota, where the Algonquin tribe flourished. But I can't tell you of anything that the Creeks or Seminole, Cherokee, or any Woodlands tribes have. Now there's talk of closest thing to a Wendigo. If you look at the Wendigo, it has a rack on it like a reindeer. What we hear about is more, but I can't get into that too much as the deer lady. But it's not the same thing as the Wendigo. This is a totally different thing. So, but yeah, I'd like to hear other reports. This is another cryptid I do take interest in. So if you guys have anything, feel free to let me know. Thanks again for tuning in to Shadowhawk Cryptids and Strange Encounters. Good night.